Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Benjamin Breaker Novotny, and I am going to be casting our second map between Dignitas and Astralis. Just now at the analysis desk, we heard a prediction from Moses of 16-11 in favor of Astralis. Overall, the bets on CSGO launch have been kind of stacked against Dignitas, but who on earth knows, maybe, just maybe, we will see an upset of sorts. But we're about to dive into the first map. Unfortunately, I have no way of knowing if we're going to be the second map. I have no way of knowing whether or not we'll be witnessing the knife round, but I'm sure we'll find out soon enough. Looks like, no, the knife round is already over, and in fact, they're going to be... Oh, wait, it is. It's on. My bad, my mistake. I just saw a decoy grenade coming out, and I'm just thinking to myself, what might this be? But there it is. Already looking pretty favored for... Counter-terror side just now was who? Well, that's unknown. But, honestly, I think, Zipnix, his team, was the one that got this, so I'm thinking that means Astralis? Astralis took the knife round, so they can determine which side they're on? We'll find out soon enough. But for those of you just now tuning in and wondering what on earth you can expect from this YouTube channel and why you should watch the VODs here as opposed to ESL's live recordings, well, I mean, my casting obviously isn't as good as Anders and Semler put together, but we do bring this to in kind of, I guess you could say, the fluff-free format. What I mean to say by that is rather we try to do as little in the way of wasting time as possible, and indeed that was Astralis who won the knife round, and they're going to select CT side. There it is. They already see the meet and greet at Fountain, so they're going to be falling back. This is, however, a very, very strong long A play coming from Team Dignitas at the moment. Got a three-man stack on that. Still one at B coming from Astralis. And one just creeping, lurking a little bit between bomb site B and T spawn. But as it stands now, it looks like this is going to be around that... Astralis are... Like, it's going to be a little bit difficult to hold a five-man push here, but is this going to be a last-minute rotate? They're mostly stacked up on restrooms for the time being. We do have one player at long A, and that would be Tenziki right now, if I'm looking at this correctly. Dupree takes out MSL's head, and it's just the rest of the T is pouring into the site. KRB taken down by some friendly fire, unfortunately, and it's looking like it's a pretty strong hold for Team Astralis already. That 16-1 prediction that, or 16-11 prediction that we had coming from Moses is looking like it might be coming to fruition now, but that's Device stealing out Rubino. Tensky trying to get the refrag. He's at 100 HP, and now he's immediately taken down by Zipnix. That's, I think, only four guys fallen, or excuse me, one guy fallen, four remaining on the map for Team Astralis. So, not necessarily going to have to buy helmets this round, but I mean, the buy is just going to be a little bit stronger because of that. Here we are. 3 FAMASes, a P90, and an MP7 coming out from Team Astralis, and that's not meant to be a big money maker coming from the team, at least on this round. What they're trying to do is they're trying to keep their distance from Team Dignitas and just light them up as best they can. Meanwhile, in return, it's actually going to be mostly pistol buys and armor, and that's already been 3-2 in the exchange config, very low right now. And Cajun B switching to his secondary at the wrong time, or rather a grenade at the wrong time. And now it's back to 2 versus 2. One weapon salvaged in this config does manage to get away with a FAMAS. It looks like they're going to be retracing their steps back through spawn. Going to be very careful about this, as they don't know who might actually be trying to sneak up on them and biting them right in the rear. But no, that's not the case here. Device and Dupree are just kind of staying put for the time being. Gotta keep one man on each site, and I feel as though it's really going to depend on who can get the first shot off first coming from Dignitas. I mean, Tenziki, he should really consider taking the point in this situation, but is it going to be... It looks like... Okay, it's going to be for A, although that was a fake flash out for B. Dupree did eat some of that. And that's the footsteps. They can hear the entry. That is to say, Device should be able to. He's got a FAMAS. He's got a target coming at him with 10 HP. Taken down mid-air and throwing out a pop flash. Bad timing on that. And now Device. Oh, it's taken down by Tensky very narrowly. He's going to get the bomb plant. No reason to fake it, and it goes down. Planted right on truck. We're going to be seeing Tensky a little bit reluctant to go back towards dumpster site. He's watching all corners as he goes into that. Dupree, meanwhile, is going to smoke that while going for a fake on the bomb. He's waiting for someone to pop out, and right now, I mean, Tensky is not really biting the bait. He's going to go... This is the real plant. It's not a fake. 5 seconds to work with. Balls of steel coming in from Dupree. He can hear the footsteps, however, and that's just a rotation from one position to another coming from Tensky. Unfortunately, no kit, and that's going to put a point on the board for Team Dignitas. At some points, it can be a little difficult to identify just what point it can be in the defuse, but something that the casters don't have activated right now is in-game music. And at one point, when one section of the how do I say this? One section of the music begins when the bomb plants, and then another section of it begins, and then a final section begins. The secondary section of that music indicates when a 10-second diffuse is too late to be made possible. The final section of it determines when a 5-second diffuse would be possible. You have to get, if you have a kit, you have to get that the fuse started before that third segment of music begins, and if you don't have a kit, you have to get it started before that second phase of music begins, if I recall correctly. Dupree now at 50 HP. And that's going to be Team Dignitas. I mean, with the aggressive start here, they've got every right to it since they do have AK-47s. And I think, oh man, that's a very nice bait coming out from Kerrigan. This is Zipnik's going to basically kind of make a YOLO play happen. He does take down one. Very fair in the exchange, given that he only had a 5-7. Rubino is now going to be entering through B main tunnel, if you will. And he's going to be followed by a teammate to go in there. Rubino now looking for a frag. It's going to be KRB taken down, and Rubino getting another one for his time. Config taken down. Who was that just now? I barely missed it. But Device, he's all on his own. I think like he might be able to play for some exit frags, but playing for the retake is close to impossible. KRB takes a little bit of a bite from that FAMAS and just says, all right, I'm going to back off for the time being. Device, in the meantime, gets the better end of that exchange while he's going to be hiding out by dumpster. And what really got Team Dignitas the win on this round was definitely the wits and cunning of that duel from the last round. Astralis Device going to get KRB, and at 57 HP, they now know where he is. He's going to head back, maybe towards heaven? Yes, he will. Won't waste any time running now that he will take a reduced... Or no, now that there's no bomb detonation to worry about. You can see the players sporting those Zowie or those Corsair keyboards, rather, excuse me. Zowie I always thought was iconically red. That's just one thing that you see on a lot of keyboards these days, the red coloring on a lot of them, except for I think CM Storm and Steel Series, although CM Storm does support red. Steel Series is more about the black and white, and they do it very well, I think. I had a Zowie red switch keyboard, of course the lights on it lit as red as well. Kerrigan trying to get that refrag, but is immediately taken down by Rubino, and it's actually Zipnix who's going to come in with the vengeance using his USP. Altogether, I mean, given that Astralis for the most part is stuck on eco, they haven't done too terribly bad. One shot to the head onto KRB, but immediately he gets the frag onto Dupree. Returns fire, aims for the head, hits it. That's all he needs to do. Beautiful fragmentation grenade. Although blind does take Zipnix down to about 10 HP. And he says, alright, well, I'm just going to play to salvage this now. No chance on the retake. Being approached by Connector, Tenziki is going to get one frag on occasion B. He's now on the hunt for Zipnix. He just has to make one bullet connect without penetrating any surfaces whatsoever. And that's going to be Zipnix actually holding his gun fairly well. Unable to get KRB, however. Walled by an AK shot and taken down. Like the Spartan 2s of Halo. Yes, I know, perhaps a tasteless reference, but many of them were hunted down on the planet Reach. And I did enjoy reading the first novel, but I do have to say, as the series changed and they tried to do other things to it, I kind of gave up on Bungie's product after a while. So Astralis now back into this with a full buy, and they are skipping out on some things like helmets, for example. They do have a little bit in the way of utility, not as much as Team Dignitas at the moment, but something to work with. KRB tossing a frag into underground from picnic tables, and I don't really like the positioning of Astralis right now. MSL config on top of MSL, gonna get the opening frag of this round. Not too terribly bad whatsoever, given what they had to do to accomplish that and what they got in return. MSL only took, he's only taken 4 damage to this stage in the game. I don't think that's too terribly savage whatsoever. And somehow we finally gotten rid of the casters' voices from the clean feed. It's great to have it like this now. Config, now working around back, and it looks as though we're gonna be seeing Dupree in kind of a bit of a tough spot, as he's not able to figure out the enemy positioning. 5 versus 4, and now 5 versus 3 with Tensuki getting that headshot, winning whatever duel he did there, and that looks like it's gonna be a play for B now. No matter what, if we want to see Astralis spread their guys even, there has to be one on each side. We do see Rubino getting one nice headshot, and we're going to be seeing a fragmentation grenade tossed in through heaven. Five versus 2 now, and Astralis, the best thing that they can hope for at this moment is a chance to salvage those weapons, really, and both Device and Dupree are aware of this. Device going to hide into the graffiti wall of the restrooms, and it looks like we're going to be having Dupree watching a long. A little bit anticlimactic this round is, just a teeny bit, but Dignitas just playing it out to the best of their ability, and they're playing it out very carefully. It kind of, I feel like this might be working against them in just some teeny tiny ways. Like, if we stop and think about this for a minute, if they're going to play this carefully on offense, you can see that even with slight moments hesitation, and this showed in the last map as well, Astralis is able to capitalize on that with flanks, running in from behind, lighting the players up with M4s, everything else in between. Zipnik's now looking for opening, but it looks as though it's going to be Device trying to get stacked onto his teammate and trying to play over picnic tables. Cajun B, I thought was getting lit up just a little bit there, and he was, and now it looks like just a little bit of that Molotov spread onto Device. An awkward position to be in. He might get fragged from picnic tables. He gets out just in the nick of time. It's going to be MSL making the opening headshot nonetheless, and Cajun B, well, he's the only M4. Device and Cajun B are doing their best to just make those M4s useful this round, but it's been a 1-for-1 refrag thus far, and the rest of Astralis has pistols. But Tensky wins the duel versus Device. The firepower advantage quite transparent as soon as he lands one to the head. 3 versus 4. Astralis, they know that a bomb plant is coming at the very least. Dignitas, they're taking their time to figure out, where should we go from here. And Zipnix is all alone at bomb site A. He does have an M4 on his person, but he doesn't have, armor. He doesn't have flashbangs, smokes, frags, any of that. And it looks like he might, if I read that correctly, I think he was abandoning ship to make sure he could hold on to that M4. Just every single save that Astralis can make, they're trying to capitalize on it. They're waiting for that round where they can all make a full buy and then just capitalize on that. But looking with the X-ray vision here in observer mode, I do feel as though there are some things that I can work with in my own play. But the question is viability. The second M4 has been salvaged, and it looks like Astralis is going to do their best to hold on to it. They are now being hunted down, and they're just kind of tiptoeing, creeping away into a position where they only have to worry about entry from 2 different directions. And that's 3 terrorists coming at them right now. Rubino gets lit up. It's gonna be 2. 2 for 1, and the save, you know, not as ideal as it wanted to be for Astralis, but again, Terrorist team kind of making that one a little bit expensive for themselves. We're talking about there were 4 guys when the plant went down. No more trades happened. It was just, you know, them trying to chase down the last 2, and at the end of that round, I believe Team Dignitas was left with only 2 players. That being said, that makes them makes it a kind of an expensive win, more expensive than it needs to be, but hey, whatever you can do to drain your opponent's economy, right? So MSL is going to be poking up towards bathrooms right now from statue entrance, and he's going to toss in a soft flash, and it looks like he'll be working his way towards bathrooms. Device is able to pick up on this, and with that being said, I think he's like, I need to get out of here, but unfortunately Config shuts down the escape, and that's going to be some rotations coming from bathroom going up towards what on earth I'm trying to figure out. Molotov tossed in the connector, and Kerrigan, I don't think he realizes, there it is, there's one. He capitalizes on MSL tossing out a grenade. He's gonna be getting a second one as well, looking for the third. Oh my god, Kerrigan, did he just get a quadra? No, yes he did, he did get a quadra. And Dupree, like, bringing this back, that was the amazing play that they really needed to make. But the question is, are Dignitas economically banged up enough to the point that they have to go to an eco on this round? There it is, the replay. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's deprived of that 5th by I think that was Device. There we can see right now, still enough for a full buy from Team Dignitas, so still a dangerous round for them to play around with this particular one. They're not going to try and be, well, I thought they weren't going to try and do anything like that, but the flash was real, and Device, he got away with the opening frag onto KRB, and I think that ought to slow things down. Dupree definitely, Device with that 3rd frag gonna do things as well. And it looks like Astralis is coming back in this match, really. There's only 2 terrorists left. Entry frag made on bomb site B. They do not have the bomb, however, so that makes this a very awkward position to work with. Really, CTs have 2 choices. They can just watch really, they've got many choices to work with, I think. 1, they can just try and hunt down the T's, make sure they can't save those weapons. 2, they can just watch the bomb and lurk over there, but no one's watching the bomb. And 3 is they could just opt to stay alive till the end of the round. 3250 on their bank. In this situation, no matter what. Entry flash taken, and Tensky does get the frag after Rubino takes a lot of damage, I think that was, and now he's still alive. 1 versus 3, it's all on him, but he's immediately taken down by Zipnix, just waiting in ambush. He knows that there's one more. I'm trying not to deliver this as a news report or whatever have you, but my knowledge of the game is quite limited. I've played over 500 match-made games in Counter-Strike Global Offensive. I'm getting back into first-person shooters now that it looks like the year of CSGO 2016, especially here in Asia. But I do apologize if this comes out as a boring broadcast. Device, he misses it. It was a very important shot for 2 different reasons. Really, MSL, he didn't have an AK-47 in his hands. That meant he was basically a sitting duck. He was getting ready to toss a grenade, and he just was not able to make that shot connect, unfortunately. But KRB gonna make the entrance. And I think this is that moment where Device was just thinking, I should have made that connection, and now he's made one with Config's head. Back to 3 versus 3. It was at one point 3 versus 5. Cajun B making a refrag now, and 2 versus 2, you know, the utility is being tossed out now. The only thing left is a fragmentation grenade for MSL. They're not going to try and force their way into this just yet. However, nice toss. It gets the frag onto Dupree. Dupree now going to try and YOLO this out. Tosses down a smoke. Makes them think that he was actually going for the ghost defuse. He's actually making it a real defuse now. Oh, and right in front of MSL, who just spins the right way and scores the headshot. That was a little bit goofy, those last few moments of the round. I'm surprised we don't... There we go. Let's check the replay. There it is. The smoke. The fake. The lighting up onto Tensky. Then the real live defuse with a flashbang. I really don't think that flashbang was relevant in any way, but it basically gave way to his location, and that gives Team Dignitas the win. We're still going to see the best buy that we can get out of Astralis this round, and it looks like Device is waiting in bathrooms for a target he may not be able to hit. There's 3. I think he knows there's more than 1 coming at him for sure now. He should know that it's basically live. Bathrooms, we're not going to be seeing the T's charging through there. They know there's an AWP. Device, quite limited. P90 going in on 2 targets. That's actually going to result in MSL getting the frag onto Dupree. And there's immediately 2 refrags. Cajun B, he gets a double kill out of this situation. Able to capitalize on it quite effectively. Looking for someone else. It's going to be Tensky actually winning that duel. 2 versus 3 now, as we do have Astralis. Not really in possession of the bomb, but it looks like Team Dignitas, judging by the situation at hand, they simply may not know where the CTs are, how many of them there are at each location, and everything else in between. For all they know, they could be around the next corner, so that's why they're playing this out so carefully, walking in every direction that they go. 40 seconds to work with, and we're waiting to see the decision-making kick into effect from Team Dignitas. 2 versus 3, difficult but doable, and Device just spotted, I think that was, yeah, it was Rubino. A little bit blurry on the clean source, but they've got the bomb, and it's 20 seconds to work with. They're going to have to actually go in there and plant it. There's 1 for Device. Zipnik's looking for the other one. 8 seconds to work with. He's forced to make the plant, and that's going to be Zipnik's just going in on it execution style. A situation a little bit unfortunate there for Team Dignitas, but they are still up in score if I remember correctly. Although this round it's not going to be in the way of economy that they are up. 6-4. Astralis are looking like this might be, I wouldn't say an easy hold, but I mean, it's an obvious eco rush coming out from Team Dignitas. Who's going to be able to capitalize it? I mean, Dupree's on point here. He's going to get down and dirty with this. He turns around at the wrong moment, but he does actually correct himself to get 1 frag. He's immediately refragged. Tensky and MSL going to get in here and get dirty as well. 2 versus 3 as we do see KRB taken down by Zipnik. It's going to be Cajun B next on the list, and it's 1 versus 2. Tensky at 1 HP and 2 targets left for him to deal with. Looks like he's just gonna try and, I wouldn't say necessarily snag this weapon and save, but a plant is still possible. Not entirely off the menu, but he would have to actually make the best of the weapon in his hands and actually score 2 headshots in a row to take down either of these targets. I'm not saying 2 headshots in a row on 1 target. We're talking about for him to actually win against both of these. It would just, it's on black and white, put on paper. He's going to have to make a total of 4 headshots. Or 1 body shot and 1 headshot, 2 body shots and 2 headshots. That's just the way the M4 works, guys. Point blank, you cannot make a frag on a target without armor. Or with armor and a helmet, excuse me. Creeping in there behind him is Zipnik's, and I don't think he actually sees him. This is what makes this a little bit creepy, but Zipnik's turns around and there it is. The round is shut out. Sorry about that. There it is, that trophy for Barcelona. Everyone wants it, but few can have it. At this point, like, Dupree making a nice opening headshot. T's on very serious eco. Device just watching underground. Rotates to secondary position. Gets a collateral, but only 1 lethal blow. He throws a frag in immediately. Cajun B getting the cleanup, and I think Dupree getting the final frag. Yeah, I think Cajun B came in from behind there at underground squeaky. And that's just how that cookie crumbled. 16-11 was the prediction for Moses, from Moses rather. He does get the Vice. This is that collateral. You're gonna see it. Boom. Hits the second target in its leg or its thigh, but is unable to really deal lethal blow to it. So basically entirely depending on a teammate's cleanup to take care of the job. Rubino looks like he's he's aiming for that duel with Device. Device misses the shot. Gonna throw a smoke in to discourage any entry from that direction. And Bathroom's gonna be pop flashed. Looks like we're gonna be having Team Dignitas rotating around to long A from Bathrooms, and then potentially, ouch, Tensky getting the opening frag at B. Something to work with, something to play off of. At least making this look like they're going for a B take, although at the moment the bomb is very much so poised to hit A site. Dupree just walking right by them, almost completely unaware of what's going on here. He might be able to catch them off guard, but oh boy, behind him, he does hear the footsteps, and that is why I always run with a pistol, if I must. Dupree, you know, playing this like, kind of like 007, getting a little bit over-aggressive in there, but it's now back to 3 versus 4, and I think Astralis is going to be playing much more passively this round. 1-2 split. This is a difficult in those 3 versus 5 situations. This is one of those awkward maps. You can't just put someone in mid. What's mid, right? It's gonna be 1 for 1 already, and that puts things back to 3 versus 2. Now it's back to 2 versus 1. Low HP on Rubino and Cajun B. Those are the highlight players to watch for this round. Jump from Cajun B, and that's gonna give Rubino the frag. Frag being tossed into, I guess you could say, the B short tunnels over by Squeaky. And that did catch a little bit of KRB, but of course it's not too terribly much that he can't actually take the front line anymore. But he is going to be making the entry in through Connector, and that's going to be 1 for 1 as Rubino cleans up Kerrigan. Tensky gets pwned by Kerrigan. We're going to be seeing now MSL watching his teammates back as Rubino gets the bomb plant down. 4 versus 3, but that HP advantage is quite transparent for Team Astralis at the moment. Rubino just basically getting executed. Now all that's left is Config, MSL, and KRB. 1 for 1, not too bad given the amount of HP that the T's have right now, but it's 1 versus 1, 2 for 2 in the exchange thus far. Cajun B picks up a kit, and he's going for, it's got to be a fake, but he didn't realize that it was actually coming from Connector and not B tunnel. Astralis now looking like things are getting a little bit heated for them. They are actually, this is looking like a bit of an upset, much to the contradiction of Moses' initial predictions. He thought it would be 16-11 in favor of Team Dignitas, but you know, he's not really eating his words just yet, considering this is only the last round of the first half that we're diving into at the moment. Anything can really happen. Device, very low HP, gets quite a chunk of damage done to MSL, but nothing that's going to take him off the map. Fire through Squeaky, and now without opening it, it's become a peeking spot, really. The rest of Astralis is left with CZs and 5.7s, and this is a very difficult position to work into. They all do have a full set of armor, so if they're able to capitalize on any frags and salvage weapons, then this might actually work to their advantage. Counter entry frag, and it looks like Zipnix is going to get one first time. Unable to actually get that AK-47. It's too far away. And there is a rotate coming out. It's going to be for A. Long A is where the bomb is actually at this moment. And there's actually 2 players escorting it if I'm looking at the minimap correctly. 30 seconds remaining, and that's going to be Config making 1 frag onto Dupree. MSL getting another. The plant is now underway. And we do see that Kerrigan is forced to come out from underground to try and get the save. He did manage to pick up an AK along the way. I think that was the one that he and Zipnix had made. There it is. He's going to find one frag, but immediately gets taken down. Rubino taking him down. I'm sorry, that was Zipnix making one and is immediately refragged as the final kill of the round. And that brings the score to 9-6 in favor of Dignitas. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the first half. Stay tuned for the second half, or simply check out the VOD on YouTube.